Description. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the description directly out of the from the portal. So here, grabbing this one, get 3,000 geometry stars to unlock more weapons and items for your ship. Go back into the JSON, and I'm just going to make this a little bit wider so that I can get it all on one line, maybe. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. And I'm going to just paste that in there, like so. Okay. And I'm going to get the next one in at purchases, which would be 8,000 geometry stars. Description. I'm glad I'm getting tired now. I've been up till like 3 or 4 in the morning, like this past 3 days. I have no idea why, so I'm glad I'm yawning. It means I can maybe fall asleep pretty early tonight. Alright, so we get 8,000 stars to unlock more weapons for your... Okay, that's cool. And then we're going to change this one here. This is the description for the second in-app purchase. And then I'm just going to do the same one down here as well for the 13,000. But I'm just going to change this to 13,000, of course. And you'll see where this pops up in a moment. Alright, so the last thing we want to do is just get this icon here. Okay, so the icon is basically just to show a little game icon, and that can be anything within the game itself. Amazon approved that before. So in this case, I'm going to go to the Blade Star X on Google Play here, and I'm just going to get this icon here. I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to click Copy Image URL, go back into that JSON file, and I'm going to highlight this between the parentheses, inverted commas, parentheses, I think that's right, no, inverted commas, between these two inverted commas, and I'm going to paste that in. Again, highlighting that one, I'll just delete it so you can see what I'm doing. Paste that in, highlight this one, delete, and paste that in. Okay, so I'm just going to make a quick check. So 15, consumable $1, 3,000, 3,000. 16, consumable $3, 8,000, 8,000, and then 17, $5, 13,000, 13,000. Okay, so yeah, be careful with this JSON script, guys, because because it's not got like an editor attached to it when it loads onto the phone. You will get some feedback through the debugger if you need to, through the logcat, which is basically a list that's printed out as the device is running. But please be careful of the syntax here. Make sure that you've got this little what do we call that now? A comma. I can't remember. Comma between each of the items. Make sure the last one doesn't have it. Make sure that you're including this colon as well before these open braces. So pause this if you need to, guys, and make sure you've got the same one here. Hopefully there should be no problem with this right now because I'm using one from before that already worked. Okay. So I'm going to click on File and then Save. So that should all be good. I am just going to highlight it and Command and C to copy, just in case. It's just a habit of mine to copy things so that if it does break or something, then I can paste it later. Okay, and I'm going to click Command and Q just to close this down. And the next thing is... So this is saved, so I'm just going to actually open this again. There we go, 3,000 geometry stars, and that's all good. Cancel that. And now I think we should be okay. So if I go back into Unity, I'm just going to click File, Save, Scene, File, Save, Project, and I'm going to click Command and B to start a build. And what I am actually going to do, guys, is I'm just going to disconnect here. So on this scene here, like I said, you drag this down. I'm going to disconnect right there. So the little green guy comes up, and I'm just going to pull that out for a moment. And the reason I'm doing that, actually I should have ejected it first, never mind. The reason that I'm doing that is because the game needs to access that JSON file, and if it's plugged in and connected to the PC or Mac as a drive, then the game can't access that JSON file and you'll get an error pop up, okay? So that's why I'm doing that. So File, Save, Project, Save, Scene, Command and B, or Control and B to build it. and this will take a second to build. I'm actually going to delete the game off my device at the moment so that I'm starting fresh. Clear data, yes, uninstall, version 12. Okay. Alright, so that's all fine and dandy. And whilst I'm doing this, I am just going to go back into the Amazon portal. And before I actually upload this game, I might need to make a few changes here to the title of the game, because I think it's a little bit different to what it is in the game. I think Space Infinity Wars, or I think it was Space Warfare in one of the versions. So I just want to make sure that's the same. I'm going to click Edit. And on the end here, I'm just going to put Buy Cobalt Play Games. And I don't know in the Amazon App Store whether that gives you more keywords or not, because I've talked about keywords on some of my other videos. Having a bigger title with more keywords makes it more visible, means it's going to be searched for and found more times. Okay, so that's why I'm adding Buy Cobalt Play Games at the end there. But it's also branding as well, of course. We want to. I want people to know, who we are, and if they see the name again, hopefully they like the games and download more. So I'm just going to click Save there. And it looks like Unity at the bottom. I don't think you can see it, but it's nearly finished building, and then it should deploy the APK onto the device. And it looks like that's running. So there we go, that's running. Hopefully we'll be okay. All right, and so I'm just clicking on play, and I'm going to click on this 3000 geometry stars here. Going to the, I'm trying to read this through the reflection, so it's going to the Amazon App Store. 3,000 geometry stars, $1, and that says get 3,000 geometry stars to unlock more weapons and items for your ship. And that's the Amazon window that pops up. So that's pretty much what it should look like when the player downloads and plays the live version. So I'm just going to click on purchase, and it says thank you for purchasing 3,000 geometry stars. And that's right, that's working well. I'm just going to click on the cross, and then congratulations, you just purchased 3,000 geometry stars. I'm going to click OK, and as you can see there, what's happened is it's popped up as the thing hasn't changed there; it's still on 0. So I'm just going to go back, but 3,000 has appeared there now, and I know why that is. So I'm going to change that in a moment. I'm going to change it right now, actually, just so that I'm going through the full process. So I'm just going to turn that off for a second. I know why that didn't happen. So I'm going to go back into my script. But for that 3,000 purchase, by the way, guys, that worked fine with the Amazon in-app purchase, the billing API process that we just talked about. So great, that seems to be working fine for 3,000 geometry stars. The in-app purchase event listener, it's this here. What we do is this finds, I'll show you what it does just to explain. If I go to the shop scene, it finds this little counter here, which is the geometry stars counter. It looks for that in the scene, and then it finds it, and it gets it, which is this code here, but it doesn't update it. Okay, so what we want to do is just copy this, and then I want to change it .text equals the number of stars, and I think I can get this in this one here. Update number of coins and cost of stars. There we go. Okay, so get in number of stars. In-app billing, global persistent settings. Okay. All right, so there we go. So what it does is it gets that text object, that 3D text, which is the number of geometry stars. It gets the text mesh component, which is the part of that game object which contains the text, and then it changes the text to show the number of stars. And since we updated it here, once that purchase is made, we do want to update the number of stars in the game. So if I click File, Control and Save, come back into Unity, and I think after this we can do another build. And what I'm going to do quickly is just check the build settings, player settings, Blade Star X Space Warfare, Blade Forex, Space Infinity Wars, and so you can see how the name of the game is slightly different. And I'm going to keep it as Space Infinity Wars. Space Infinity War. Okay. Just because war is more of a keyword than warfare, I think. That's just a guess, so that's not an educated check, by the way. Alright, so I'm going to call it that. I'm going to click File, Save Scene, Save Project. I'm going to click Command and B. And I'm going to delete the previous one off the device, just so, again, we're doing a clean install. Applications, Manage Applications, Blade Star X, Force Stop, Clear Data, and I'll come back in just a moment, guys. Okay, guys, we're back again. Sorry, I just had to pause it for a moment there. And so I've just rebuilt it. We made those changes, and it's running again. And we've got the ads down at the bottom there, which is right because this is a clean install. Nobody's paid for anything right now. I'm going to click on play, and then I'm going to click on get 3,000 geometry stars. I'll show you this, guys, as it's happening. 3,000 geometry stars, get 3,000 geometry stars to unlock more weapons for your ship. I'm going to click on purchase, if I can do it from that angle. Yep. And thank you for purchasing 3,000 geometry stars. Now at the bottom we've got the ads there. These should disappear after I go back into the game. Okay, so I just double tap there, sorry, ignore that. You've just purchased 3,000 geometry stars, that's good. 3,000 is now counted, and the ads have been removed, so that works great. And I'm going to click on 8,000 now. But we've not included that functionality yet, and we've not included it for 13,000, so that's okay. So the next thing that we needed to do, because I'd forgotten about this, is we need to go back into our shop scene here. I think it was this shop scene. Yes, it is. So I'm going to highlight this one here. This is the 3,000 geometry stars. Remember, this is when the player tapped on that 3,000 geometry stars button. We didn't add it for the 8,000 geometry stars yet, or the 13,000. So here, if the user taps on the buy 8,000 stars button, I'm just going to copy this. This is for the Google Play Market, and we need to change to 16 for the Amazon App Store. Alright, so 16, and then I'm going to copy this one again and then go down to the 13,000 stars button. Copy and paste. I'm going to cut that and place this down here. And this is number 17. Alright, that's good. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to go back into Unity now. Looking at this status bar on the bottom right, or this little, what do you call it? I don't know what they're called. Wheel, activity wheel, bezel. Making sure there's no problems. File and save. Save project. I'm going to Command and B to build. And then let this build for a second. And what I'm going to do in a moment, guys, is I'm just going to quickly, I'm going to check these builds for you just to show that it's working and everything is running okay. I'm going to test the in-app purchases, and then I'm just going to show you a little bit the how to add the description and the metadata, and because that's pretty simple, but I'll just talk you through it just so you guys know. There's a few more changes that I do need to make in the game before I can actually submit this application to the Amazon App Store. Those changes might already be made, but I'll double check them. The things that you have to be careful with or check when you submit to the Amazon App Store, for example, don't have any game links that go to the Google Play Market because you would get rejected for that, I think. Don't have a rate the game button that goes to the Google Play Market either. That will also get you rejected. And when I say rejected, I mean the application will not be approved. You won't get your account cancelled or anything. Those are the things. The other one is to make sure that your application does fit the device sizes, and so that there's no sort of like black borders or anything like this, or you know, that your screen fills up all of the device, all of the different device sizes. That's something that we got we didn't get approved for before with one of our games. So those are just a couple of them. I think that's pretty much it in terms of the checks that you need to do. There wasn't anything else really that was a major problem for us. The Amazon App Store takes around roughly 1 week to approve things. I think at the moment as well, there's about 500,000 or 600,000 applications on the Amazon App Store. So it's actually, sorry, no, way less, like 50,000 or 60,000, which is like 10 times less than an iPhone, which I think is great because that means we're more visible. You know, you're not competing with hundreds of thousands, you're only competing with tens of thousands of applications. That'll soon change though, who knows. Alright, so I'm just going back into this shop scene here, it's now loaded. I'm going to click on 8,000, hopefully this will work. So 8,000 geometry stars, get 8,000 geometry stars to unlock weapons and items. Purchase, thank you for purchasing 8,000 geometry stars. I'm going to click on the cross. Goes back into the game, and you've just purchased 8,000 geometry stars, and click OK, and there we go, 11,000 at the top right. Okay, so that's exactly what we wanted. So 8,000 plus 3,000 from before. I'm going to unlock the this front gun here. I'm just going to check that this works. So extra front gun, buy the front gun for 3,000. Yes, you've just unlocked it. 8,000 geometry stars. If I go to click play now, there you go, you can see we've got 2 guns, which is exactly what we wanted. The player just bought that. Okay. Remind me later, so I'm just going to check this last one. So 13,000 geometry stars, which is this one here. Goes to the Amazon pop-up, get 13,000 geometry stars, purchase, and then thank you for purchasing. Click on the cross, back into the game. Congratulations, you've just purchased 13,000. That's working well, and then it's updated there as well. So we went down from 8,000, and then 8,000 plus 13, yeah, is 21,000. So that works well. I'm going to unlock the right one as well, just to check that it's working. So buy the right gun, yep, for 5,000, and then buy the left gun, buy for 5,000, and then I'm going to click next. And there you can see you've got all 4 guns on the ship, and that's, I'm just going to try and play it from this angle. And the player can still get geometry stars, so I can update this later to include more weapons or levels or, you know, whatever might be fun to include, or if the game's successful. If the game doesn't really have a lot of attention or downloads, I usually won't focus on it so much. It's better to focus on the games or update the games that are getting a lot of attention and a lot of downloads. Alright, so that's working pretty well. That was the main chunk of this video that I wanted to talk about. So, and what I mentioned before is I want to quickly just check that this developer portal here is okay and it's filled in alright. The general information is pretty straightforward, like the name of the game. You don't have to include an app SKU. If you click on edit down here, you can change it. And then obviously like support email address. And this is real straightforward, but you do have to fill in all of these tabs here to make sure that, that Amazon has all the data it needs so that it can approve your application. It's free, you know, I'll just show you, like if I click edit, then it'll say, where would you like it? Yeah, I want it in all countries. No, it's a free application. Has it already been released? Yeah, it was already released on the Google Play Market and also on iPhone as well. And when do you want it available? Straight away. And, you know, I'm not going to talk through all these, guys, because it's pretty straightforward, this stuff. Description. What I will mention is, description is, add something in the description which sounds interesting and has lots of keywords as well. But obviously not like you're trying to like squash as many keywords in there as humanly possible. So the keywords section at the bottom there, like, you know, make sure you're using 30 keywords in that point, all right? Because that'll really make a big difference. SEO, as I've mentioned before, search engine optimization, or ASO, App Store optimization, as it's being called now, is a sort of a skill of its own, you know, and getting good at keywords and knowing what to call games, especially for smaller developers, independent developers, is extremely important in getting the game downloaded more. So images and multimedia, you can include a video, which is great for for when the user is searching for an application and they see your application, they can click on the video and then they can see it. And games that have a video are more likely to get downloaded. So I might include one there later. I think I've made one. Screenshots, obviously pretty straightforward. Content rating, again, just like the iPhone App Store, pretty straightforward. There's a little bit of light, moderate cartoon violence in this one, just because you're blowing up spaceships, or so that should be rated like 4 or something. And then the final tab here, this binary file, is basically where you would upload the binary. So if I click on edit, and I'm not going to upload it now, but I'll just show you where it is. So in this case, I already uploaded a version before, and what I would do is I'd cross this off and then browse to find the APK that I've just built, the one that we've just been doing in this video here. Let that upload. It'll take a few minutes to upload depending on your connection speed. And then once you're done, you select all the devices that it is applicable for. The languages, we certify that it's okay to be published in the US. And then the binary alias, I just leave that as the same. It's just binary1. You can change that to something else if you need to be more clear on what it is. And then any kind of test instructions. In this case, we don't need to show any test instructions because the game is very simple and it's very obvious on how to play it. Once that's done, you click Save. And once you've got all of that data in there, once you've got all of these tabs filled out and you've got your keywords, don't forget those, you've filled in all the data for the in-app purchases, including the screenshots and the keywords as well, then what you do is click Submit Application. And then if you go back into the My Apps page, I think what it'll show is it'll show down here on the current version will show like submitted or in review or waiting for review or something like this. And it usually takes 1 week to get back there, so 1 week for them to get back to you. And if it's approved, you'll receive an email through the email that you registered for the Amazon developer site, and they'll say to you, hey, it's approved and it's live, and then you can go onto the App Store and the Amazon App Store and find it. And then roughly 24 hours later, if you look under the Reportings tab, you'll see how many downloads the game's had and then how many in-app purchases the game has had as well. So, but anyway, for now, as usual, as always, I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to finish this off later because there's just a couple more things I need to change, but it's not very relevant for this video. The only thing is the only thing I will change, just so you know, is I'm going to make sure that all of the icons point to the Amazon App Store, like the More Game icons. When the user clicks on Review the Game, I've got to make sure that that's pointing to the Amazon App Store as well, because it'll get rejected if I'm not doing that. So that's all I'm going to do now, just so you know. But I hope you found this video useful. Everyone, please tap on that like button down there, as always. Please tap it. That really helps. And of course, please download BladeStar X, please, from the Google Play Market or the Amazon App Store. It should be live pretty soon on the Amazon App Store, but it's already available on Google Play. It's already on the iPhone App Store as well. And if you do download, please give me a nice big 5 stars. That helps and that really supports us. But everyone, have a great week. Stay warm, don't be too busy, and I will chat to you all very soon. Okay? Bye-bye.